Taiwanese index down 0.1%. We have Hang Seng sitting with cuts of 0.5%.
They have determined that the characteristics of certain investors have sufficient uncertainty that they should no longer be designated at free float pursuant to our methodology.
Q3 to Q2 performance has certainly improved in the upstream business and the downstream.
The Nifty is down about 45 points.
Overweight stance on IT sector as of now. It will be a bit of an underweight or a neutral at this point of time.
This year's budget has indeed laid the foundation for India's emergence as a developed nation.
We're still down on the benchmark index. The Nifty is down 36 points. Around that 17,850 mark.
मैं देश विदेश से यूपी आने वाले आप सभी इन्वेस्टर्स का अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं.
The markets, we've slipped from the day's high. We're currently down 0.4% on the benchmark index. That was the day so far. Hello and welcome to Closing Bell live from the Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Reema Tendulkar. With me today is Nigel in the studio, and we've got Mangalam Maloo with us in the newsroom. Hi, Mangalam and Nigel. Another quiet day, right? Yeah. Very ranged, very sideways. In fact, the Nifty today has just moved in about a 70 to 80 point trading range. Pull up the Nifty intraday high and pull up the Nifty intraday low, and you would see the high and the low is less than what we had. The range is less than what we had in yesterday's trading session. So the low today is higher than the low of yesterday, and the high today is lower than the high of yesterday, right? So we've moved in a very tight band. Within that, we've seen a fair amount of gyration in the last 15 minutes. The Nifty is trying to push higher, perhaps get back to the day's high. But the week belonged to the broader markets. This week, the mid-cap index has outperformed the Nifty by close to about 2.5%. So while the frontline indices were consolidating and trading range, the momentum was in the broader markets. And today as well, you are seeing that outperformance. So the mid-cap index today is up close to about 0.25%, outperforming the benchmark indices by nearly 0.5%. Let's quickly run you through some of the big gainers today. You've got Tata Motors, a big up move in the second half of the trading session. Hero MotoCorp giving it company in the PSU banking space. Big boy, State Bank of India is higher in trade. On the losing side, HCL Tech is one of the top Nifty losers. That's down nearly 3%. There is an MSCI weightage cut. There will be outflows. The street was taken by surprise over there. Hindalco moved higher yesterday, but today it's come in for some amount of selling pressure. And Tata Steel, Nigel, it's down 10% this week, right? Steadily, it's given up a lot of ground this week. Just watch for the IT names, because IT has seen a lot of buying come through at the lower levels, particularly mid-cap names. So Persistent, KPIT Technology. In fact, in 2023 so far, these are stocks which have given you returns of 20 to 25% so far. So it's a big comeback trade for mid-cap IT after the badgering that they got last year. What are you watching?
Oh, well, that's right. Reema, just one point about this week. We have ended more or less flattish, but we've at least outperformed the globe, after a while. Year to date, we're still underperformers, but in this week, we've either performed in line with the Shanghai market, or we have outperformed what the US markets have done. So that's heartening as well. In terms of Tata Steel, the problem is there's no visibility for the next few quarters. Europe was a loss, and they're saying the next few quarters as well is going to be a loss. On the India business, the guidance is they're only going to improve by around 2,000 rupees per ton. And the big play on Tata Steel is deleveraging. If the operations are going to be weak, then there's not going to be any deleveraging. So that explains why that stock has come in for a harder knock from around the 123, 124 odd. It's come down to around 108. Focusing on the markets though, earlier today we were making this point that the 17,800 put is getting written, and that's what's giving the bull some bit of a hope. So earlier today we dipped lower, but those dips are getting bought into. Until we see writing at around that 17,800 odd mark, I think instead of looking at lower levels of 17,750 odd level, that's the near-term support. So if you're long, that's where your stop loss gets taken out. So keep that in mind. On the upside though, the 17,900 call, well, that's seeing a fair bit of writing as well. Even in today's trading session, it's added more than 40 lakh shares. The premium out there is around 70 rupees. So I'm saying on the upside, the 17,950 level, that'll be a bit of a resistance level. And let's pull up two key levels. One is the 20 DMA. You like to end above this level, on a closing basis. And the 100 DMA. If you get past the 20, then you want to get past the 100 DMA. And if that happens, then maybe in fact, we'll start moving higher as well. So that's what the optimistic move from the bullish point of view, 17,950, the crucial resistance. Mangalam, we've just got 60 minutes before you move into the weekend. I'm sure you've got some plans. Tell us what else you are tracking.
Well, I have no plans for the weekend this time around, Nigel. But a couple of things.
There was masti written all over all over that face, Mangalam.
Well, what can I say? But anyway, let's move back to the market because 60 minutes is what we have still with us. We were talking about a lot of options, etc. I was just looking at the 17,800 straddle, and those who are betting for the range that Reema's talking about, it's a narrow range, etc. The 17,800 call and put together premium of almost 200 points, and that takes you to the broader range in which the Nifty has been trading, 17,600 at the lower level to about 18,000 on the way up. But that's as far as the frontline index is concerned. Right now, I'm just looking at some flashes coming in from Bloomberg saying that Russia plans to cut March oil output by 5 lakh barrels per day. We don't know how much this would impact the markets on a whole in terms of demand and supply, but that's had its bearing on the way crude has spiked. In fact, Brent is now close to around $87, a big spike of almost $2 in just the last few minutes, and a 2.5% gain is what we're seeing out there. Will that have an impact on a couple of these players is something that we'll be watching out for in the near term, at least watch out for all the paint stocks, etc. And on the way up, a couple of these upstream names should come up for you, ONGC as well as Oil India. We'll just monitor whether there is a move on these counters as well or not. But then again, it's a move that we've seen very sporadic, so let's see whether the other stocks follow or not. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Mangalam. Well, let's tell our viewers what we have lined up on the show. First up, we'll be focusing on stocks like Oro Pharma, Lupin, Voltas and United Breweries, which are reacting to their Q3 earnings. We'll also be joined by market expert Prakash Diwan and Dipan Mehta. They'll be joining in to give us some fundamental stock analysis. Later on, our Alpha Manager of the Day will be Charandeep Singh as well as Varun Daga of Girit Capital. We'll find out what they're bullish on and how they have churned their portfolio as well.
How should you position yourself in the last 1 hour of trade?